Hey Fixers, and welcome to this video that is about the topic that I get asked a lot. So what is the best Python IDE? So in this video I will show you like at least 10, maybe a dozen different IDEs, and I will show you a quick screenshot and tell you what is the best IDE for Mac, for Windows, for Linux, for Ubuntu, for beginners, even for hackers. So we have a lot of subtitles. This is based on a blog article that I currently wrote. If you want to have the links to all these articles, then check out this blog article which I wrote and to all these IDEs, and check out the blog article. I link to all of them, and I try to like focus on the different strengths and weaknesses for the areas where I recommend the different IDEs. But of course, I mean, there are a lot of, it's an individual choice. And for example, if you ask me, I'm doing 90% of my coding with a simple idle script. I mean, even advanced projects, which I have, like the Thingster.com app, where you can solve Python puzzles, and so it's a full-fledged big project where multiple developers work on. And even there, I am working a lot with the idle script. And for the advanced stuff, so if I'm doing some advanced coding on the Thingster.com app, so on large projects, then of course I use like an IDE like PyCharm. I use PyCharm myself, and I use Atom myself. So these are the two ones that I use. And then of course the idle script. What is idle? Idle is the default Python IDE, you can say. Yeah, it's just, it looks like this. It's very simple. Yeah, it's just an editor, and it has some code highlighting functionality. It has some auto completion functionality. So these are this is like the default Python development editor. And this is, I mean, these three editors. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, then check out these three. Basically, I would say these are the mostly used and most common editors, like idle, which is the default one, PyCharm, and Atom from time to time. So, but even if I had to pick 2 out of 3, then I would pick PyCharm and idle. And with those, I mean, you can already finish very, very big code projects. You don't need to look even much further. Okay. So, but what is an IDE and a code editor? So an IDE means integrated development environment, and it enables you to code and increase your productivity because it has some features like auto-completion, and you can include code libraries very quickly, and it shows you like even some more advanced IDEs have a probabilistic argument. So you write a code function, and then it will already propose you some arguments which you can type in. So for example, if I have like this is not an advanced IDE, but if I print, for example, here if I have the print function, then it dynamically it will propose what it gives me the list of arguments that I can include. So this is like this is a tooltip functionality. It's not auto completion, but so it has some. It goes into the direction of some advanced IDEs. Okay, so an IDE is often more heavyweight. If you work on full-fledged applications and you want to have an IDE with auto completion and so on, and also debugging and a compiler and execution functionality and so on, all in a single application. And if you come from Java, for example, you know Eclipse. If you come from C++, you know Visual Studio. These are full-fledged IDEs where you have everything in one application. You don't need to go outside, basically. And code editors are more lightweight. They are more simple, like idle is a code editor, or even like Notepad++. You can type in things. The code will be highlighted, and maybe you have some advanced functionalities like auto completion or tooltips, but they will not be very advanced in terms of like collecting and maintaining your whole application in one place. So you need to have multiple different windows open, like for example a shell script where you can execute your files after you have completed them or so. Okay, so this is the difference. IDEs are like integrated development environments. They contain everything you need to bring a project to life, and code editors are more lightweight, so they focus on one thing, and then you need to have other programs that and together you can then create Python applications with different apps, different applications working together. Okay, so let's start with the best IDE for Mac very quickly. So I selected the PyDev IDE for Mac, and if you click on PyDev, then you can watch the video. Okay, it requires, doesn't work. Okay, but I mean, we are already in a video, so we shouldn't watch videos anyway. Yeah, it's here screenshots. It's a beautiful editor, and it has all the functionality you basically need. Okay, so it looks a bit like Eclipse for Java developers, and it has basically it's simple. It has tabbing, so you have different tabs working to. So if you work on a large applications, usually you have a project with some project folders and subfolders and so on. You can structure it really nicely in this one integrated development environment, and it also has like you can run code, you can do some refactoring, you can, if you change one variable at one place, the change will also be affected at the other place. So it's a really nice integrated development environment, and this is my top choice for Mac. Okay, then of course in Mac you can also use Emacs, but this is more for advanced coders. And actually, I won't recommend that if you are a beginner or if you just want to check out the best IDE, that you start with Emacs. Emacs, of course, it's powerful, but it's also a bit nerdy. I mean, it's probably not as convenient as the other ones. But still, I included it because many people use it actually. And then Skype is also powerful. It's good for Mac, it's good for Linux. But here, if I had to choose, then choose the PyDev IDE. I mean, you can only use one IDE, so why choose the other ones? Yeah, just take the best. And for Windows, it's PyCharm basically. PyCharm is really powerful. I can show you like my project. I've installed PyCharm. Let's open it. And a disadvantage is that it takes a bit of time to open, so it's heavyweight as many other integrated development environments. That's why I prefer for these small little scripts, and so I prefer also lightweight programs like IDLE. I mean, you see IDLE already open. I mean, I have opened 10 IDLE shares before PyCharm even starts. Okay, and now you see slowly and gradually it starts and it builds the environment, so it's more heavyweight. And then of course you will be able to code faster in this environment if you have mastered it. Okay, so you need to have some initial time to build your skills, to build your IDE muscle, and then you will be much faster because of the tooltips and so they provide. Yeah, and you see you have nice code highlighting functionality, but you can also do stuff like so let's just write here dummy code. Like if you print something, then it also shows me tooltips information. But now if I have, so for example, the out, if I type out, then it will propose variables that I've already defined in the code above. Okay, it will propose out file, for example. I click out file, and now it automatically completes and the proposed function call. Okay, so it's very, very effective this way. You don't even have to type everything. You can just type parts of it and then click tab, and then it will automatically complete it. Okay, so you can be very fast with this integrated development environments. And PyCharm is the best. I mean, you can execute Python scripts within the environment, so you don't even have to go outside, and everything is in one. So you have tabbed space. You can open multiple tabs. You have the project overview here. So if you have very large projects, then I recommend PyCharm. If you have smaller projects like small scripts or maybe machine learning projects, then I would just, I mean, we have integrated development environments as well for those projects. But I mean, just to be quick, you can use just the IDLE editor. As you see, I'm a big fan of simplicity, so I love IDLE. But anyway. Okay, so for Windows, I would recommend PyCharm, and I will just skip the rest. For Linux, actually, I'm not making the case for IDLE now anymore. I have already told you that IDLE, I think it's the best lightweight editor there is, and it has some advanced functionalities like auto-completion feature. And Yeah, if you are on Linux, you can also use PyDev for Eclipse, basically, and it's an Eclipse plugin, so you can download Eclipse. Eclipse is an advanced, full-fledged Python IDE. You know it from Java if you come from the Java world, and you can just use PyDev as an plugin for Eclipse. So it's very simple to install if you have Eclipse already installed on Linux. Good, then let's go to the best Python IDE for Ubuntu, and here Vim is among the winners I chose, because I mean Vim is kind of it's an editor more. It's more an editor. It's not an integrated development environment, but I think so. If you are on Ubuntu and Linux, then chances are that you love the scripting part, this terminal-based programming, and because this is like, otherwise why are you on Ubuntu if you don't love terminals and you don't love to do everything yourself in the terminals? And here, I mean, Vim is a bit, it takes some time to get used to it, but if you have mastered Vim, then you can be really fast. You can search stuff, you can do regular expressions in Vim, so it's really an advanced editor. So, and if you use Ubuntu and Linux, then I assume that you are already like at least intermediate to advanced coder, and then Vim will be, I mean, it can be interesting for you. So you should, but it has a learning curve. I mean, you need to learn it. And if you don't want to use Vim, then of course you can also use PyJam for Ubuntu. It also works. Good. Then for beginners, I've chosen Spyder, which is a beautiful integrated development environment for beginners. It is lightweight, it is faster than PyJam, and it has a lot of like online help, online community. Because it's open source, it's more like there's a good community around Spyder, and you cannot customize it, and it's more basic than PyJam, for example, but it has some, like, you can do beautiful plots here within the shell, and it's for beginners. I think it's very beginner friendly and understandable. So Spyder is a good choice. Otherwise, just use like if you're on Mac, Sublime may be a choice, but I would then still prefer PyJam if you are a beginner and you don't want to use Spyder. The best Python IDE for machine learning. So in machine learning, you have some special requirements often. Yeah. So for example, you have you need to have like mathematical library support. You need to plot and visualize data often. So Spyder would be a good choice, but also, I mean, one of the most powerful integrated development environment is Visual Studio from Microsoft. They have different integrated development environments, like Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio for Mac, and like the basic Visual Studio. This is more for C++, but here Visual Studio Code is basically, you can also write Python code in it, and it's very suitable for machine learning, where often you have to import external libraries, and like for neural network analysis or TensorFlow and so on. So it's like if you have a lot of dependencies, then to keep a good overview and to integrate everything, you may want to use Microsoft's heavyweight Visual Studio environment. I think it's good for machine learning in particular. Okay, then for Raspberry Pi, this is really a side thing. I will skip this in this video. For data science, again, PyJam comes into mind. So PyJam it has data science scripting. You have a lot of plugins for data science specific data analytics, and a good thing is that you can connect it to databases where you can load the data. I mean, if you are in data science and you want to like get the data from different sources, and of course this you can't do with IDLE very effectively, but with PyJam you have these plugins that like connect you to external databases, even to remote databases. So this works beautifully. Otherwise, I've already said Spyder is good for beginners, it's good for data science and visualization, and even for machine learning. So Spyder would be a really good choice here. And then of course, I mean, this should even be my first choice, I would say. The Jupyter Notebook, it's very popular in the data science and machine learning community because you can very quickly, it's lightweight, it's fresh and simple. You can code in the browser, so it's like it's young, it's new and exciting, and you can see it has a very good visualization capability. So you can, as you see here, you can like type things in an online shell in the browser and plot things quickly. You see the result immediately. It's like good for playing with data and playing with different. So if you don't have this large project that with a lot of interdependencies, this is like if you have large projects with a lot of interdependencies, then you should use the traditional IDEs like PyCharm also, or even Visual Studio from Microsoft. But if you have this lightweight, simple, small data analytics tasks where you want to just try out different things, try out different machine learning models or so, then the Jupyter Notebook, this is really handy because it gives you this feeling, this interactive feeling. You can try different things. Then of course it's like if the project becomes larger and larger, then the Jupyter Notebook will not be my first choice, yeah. But otherwise, so if you have a small project or even mid-sized project with up to 1,000 lines of code and you want to try different models or so, then Jupyter Notebook is fantastic. And okay, then we have some for Android. We have IntelliJ IDE. So this is like, it has this IntelliJ functionality. It's like advanced, more intelligent, more smart auto-completion feature. And yeah, we have some IDEs for Android as well. Like this may be a good choice, this IntelliJ IDE A from JetBrains. It's the same team behind PyCharm, I guess. It also looks similar, but it has some more advanced functionality. So you can check this out as well. Good with debugger. I mean, all IDEs have debuggers, so basically you should just stick with the ones you wanted to choose anyway. I mean, there are some that are more focused on debugging, but yeah, we'll skip this for now. And for engineers often have different requirements. So they want to have specific scientific libraries and so on, and also visualization stuff. So Spider would come to mind. Then you can use, I mean, if you are fine with paying for the IDE, then Endo may be a very good choice because they have like advanced features, like even with course training and so on. So it's like, it's even more, they even go beyond just providing an editor. They also give you support and documentation and everything. Otherwise, of course, Jupyter Notebook. So many engineers used Jupyter Notebooks just to try things out. And yeah, another one is Rodeo, which I will not go into detail now. For algorithmic trading, again, we have Spider. Spider is, it comes a lot, so it always pops up as a good solution for different areas. It's simple, lightweight, integrated with data-centric libraries like Matplotlib, NumPy, Pandas, and so on. So you can plot things quickly. You can also do debugging. You can see variable choices and everything. So it works nicely. And for TensorFlow, again, I would say use Jupyter Notebooks. And IntelliJ, we have already seen, like JetBrains, PyCharm, it has intelligent auto-completion stuff. Okay, so I think we have already addressed everything. For data visualization, you can again use Visual Studio Code or PyCharm. And yeah, the last one is for hackers. I mean, what does it even mean, hackers? I would not say that hackers use a specific IDE. So from my experience, the people who you could consider as hackers, they just use different tools, the right tool for the right circumstance. Yeah, often they use just the shell scripting. Often they would use Vim with Ubuntu or Linux or so to like web sniffing tools and to do some port analysis and cross-site scripting and so. So they would just script a lot and just use the default shell from the environment from where they are. Like in Windows, they would use command line. In Linux, they would use a shell. the terminal, and then sometimes they will even have larger projects. They may have larger hacking projects, and then they will use any IDE. Otherwise, they will just do a lot of scripting, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it's a common question. What is the best Python IDE for hackers? But yeah, I would say it's just, I mean, hackers are at a very advanced coding level, so they can use any IDE, and they will use different IDEs, different environments, different tools for the different problems they have. Okay, that's it. So where to go from here? This was enough theory. If you want some practice, then this is really important that you choose practical projects and start today implementing these practical projects, because if you build practical projects, then you will also build that muscle and build this strength and the specific skill set you need for the practical projects, so that you can really build a well-rounded skill set as a developer. So it often doesn't help to keep learning, because you will learn the wrong things and you will drift away from the important stuff. So if you have some code projects where you can focus your attention on, then this will round up your skills very nicely, and this will improve and increase your value to the marketplace. And I will share you, so in my free webinar, how to build your high income skill Python, I will share you how I got from earning $0 per month through coding to very advanced level earning levels, to what average coders earn, and even beyond, building my coding business. Now I have a scalable coding business. First I became Python freelancer, earning money as a freelancer and coming to this average earning potential. And then I started to look, as I crossed the average earnings from Python developers worldwide, which goes into the six figure. I shifted my attention, and I wanted to earn more scalable income, so I built my scalable online business, Thinkster.com, and I give you all my background information and everything I have learned so far from building a business and coding and doing everything at the same time and teaching, and I share you the secrets how you can very quickly reach this average earning potential level. So join the free webinar if you're interested. I have a link in the description below. I have a link at the blog article which I show you, and yeah, I'm excited to share my route and my experience with you, and to help you become a more successful coder within the next year. Okay, so see you in the webinar, and thanks for watching this video. Bye.